What's up, everybody? Noah Kaser back here for another episode of Noah Kaser Live. So we have a lot to talk about. We have Twisters opening at $80.5 million in the estimates, 81.3 in the actuals. Inside Out 2 becoming the second biggest animated film ever within a couple days. Alien Romulus box office predictions. Why that's a big deal. Robert Downey Jr. is returning to the MCU as Iron Man and Doctor Doom. We'll take a look at that, but also, what is considered a spoiler? We're going to talk about that, as well as the big news for today. We got a brand new Barbie movie. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Deadpool and Wolverine reviews are out. So that's going to be the last topic, but we have our last three topics, as always. But first, we do have an early comment, and it is from my good buddy, Sav. Welcome in, Sav. Loyal member to the channel. But let's take a look at this first. Twisters opens at $80 million. This is huge. Number one, because this was projected early on at $40 million. That's stupid. This doubled it. That's stupid. It doubled it. The more it went on, it felt like an Inside Out effect. Every single day. Every weekend, it bumped it up, and it went more than the 70% already there. So this one comes from IndieWire. IndieWire says, for once, Disaster is a box office positive. Twisters beats all projections to score $50.8 million at number one for the opening weekend. Timed for needed escapism with the cataclysmic genre that excels for premium screens, it proved a worthy successor to the original. So, this says here, the original only opened to $41 million in opening weekend in early May. What do you think about this? Because this is big news, and do you think that it's going to be a massive second weekend drop going into the juggernaut that is the tornado known as Deadpool and Wolverine?
I think it's great that it's doing so well at the box office opening weekend, because I thought it was a really good movie, super fun, just a good time at the movies with some great effects. Definitely a movie made to see in a theater, but it's gonna have a very steep second weekend drop because everyone's flocking to the theaters to watch Deadpool this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see, because I was like, okay, another Twisters movie. Last one was in the 90s. Are people going to really be attracted to this one? Because the original doesn't have, like, fantastic reviews either. Granted, neither does this new one. And I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. Didn't love it. But, I mean, yeah, I think it's incredible. I think a lot of people are really wanting, especially to flock out to those premium formats, like an IMAX, like a 40X, to witness a true disaster film in cinemas, because we haven't really gotten one that's good and also just wholeheartedly pure blockbuster action. And I think that's exactly what people are looking for right now, is that kind of movie. And Twisters delivers that, so people are going to go support it. Yeah, I mean, I was like, when those initial reactions came out to like 40 million, I was like, there's no way. It has to make more than that. And it certainly did. I'm very happy to see how this film is doing similar numbers to what Barbie and Oppenheimer did, which is exciting to see a film like this doing numbers. I don't think it will make as much as Top Gun Maverick.
Nope.
Just saying that. But, you know, Glenn Powell's having a good time, and I do think it's going to have a bad second weekend. With Deadpool projecting crazy numbers. I'm still surprised at how much that movie's projecting to make. But yeah, I think it will have good legs, but I don't think it will be in that second weekend. Just because everybody's now going out, instead of seeing Twisters, everybody's going to see Deadpool and Wolverine. So, yeah, I think the second drop, or the weekend drop, will be pretty steep for the movie.
I personally think, I've seen as low as 70%. I don't think it's 70%. And do you want to know why? Screens are selling out for Deadpool. So if you can't get tickets, if you don't pre-order tickets now, you're not going to get a seat.
Yeah.
Which we have lucky enough. we pre-ordered them in IMAX when the tickets came out, and that whole theater is pretty much full. There's like 5 seats left.
Yeah, it was so funny because I was in school when tickets went live, so I was texting my mom. I sent her the link. I was like, "You have to get the IMAX tickets before they sell out." And it took a while, but now there's legit like, if you want good IMAX seats, they're gone. Like,
it's like front row, and nobody wants front row IMAX.
No. Now, for Twisters, me and the girlfriend, we drove there. We got to the theater. We usually get there a little bit early. We are sitting there. We're talking. Normally, we just bullshit for a good 10, 15 minutes right before we walk in. So we're talking. All of a sudden, people are driving up. More people than I've seen at the theater in months. When I go, I'm usually the only one there. Granted, I don't usually go on opening night. But even when I went on opening night last time for Abigail and Civil War, there wasn't that many people there. We walk in there, half the theater is packed. 500-seat auditorium is packed full of people. The girlfriend is very uncomfortable. She doesn't like people. I like people. I'm having a good time. But here's the thing about a full theater. It makes the experience better. If you're laughing, if you're having a good time with each other. I can tell you this. If I would have seen Twisters in a empty theater, I wouldn't have given it as high a score because crowd interaction makes the movie better for me, as well as the experience better for me. Yeah. So same with Deadpool. If Deadpool is empty, if you go to an empty Deadpool screening, you are going to have the worst time, like I did at Spider-Man No Way Home. 7 people in the theater, Toby and Andrew come out, nothing. There's just me. There's me. I'm freaking out. I'm clapping. I'm hooting and hollering. And then this one guy who I swear was high on crack. He went, "Yep, there he is."
But I think the Twisters box office and of course what Deadpool is aiming for and what Deadpool is definitely going to do is just perfect example of what people are wanting to see at the theater this year, because movies like The Fall Guy and Abigail didn't do well, and even though those got some pretty crowd-pleasing reviews from the people that did go see it, people are wanting the big theatrical experience again, because it's been a couple of years since we've gotten that, because like Twisters is a fun, just pure summer blockbuster, and people
crowd pleaser too. Yeah,
massive, definitely a big crowd pleaser, and then people are going to be flocking to Deadpool because people want that experience of unity and the community of people with them who are laughing and clapping and everything going on. And I think Twisters and Deadpool are going to do so well because that's what people are looking for now with the films they pick to see in a theater.
And not to mention, so we went to an early screening for Twisters in IMAX, and our whole theater, it was pretty full. Not like every seat packed, but it was pretty full. And yeah, it is full on crowd pleaser. Our crowd was having a blast with the film, which made us as well just have an even better time with the movie. So yeah, I think that's totally true. Tickets are selling for the movies. People are going to go there, have a good time. And it's been pretty mixed in May, especially, where people are like, is this summer not going to do great? But since Inside Out 2 has hit, pretty much every movie, even the ones that you aren't expecting to do a crazy splash, like Longlegs, is crushing it. So
all it takes is one good movie. It takes one good experience at the theater. Yes, Godzilla X Kong was fun. Fall Guy is fun. The issue is you got to have that crowd interaction. And the big thing is marketing. Fall Guy was not marketed very well at all. They started all the way back at the Oscars with having Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling do an award. And they said, we have a movie coming out this summer called The Fall Guy. I said, yeah, you do. Where's the first trailer? Where's the first trailer? It was like they were hiding it. Not a bad movie. But you got to start your marketing a little bit earlier than, March.
But yeah, I mean, Longlegs was another good example of marketing. Longlegs, yes, it is a great film. And having it in a packed theater of people who were as terrified as I was added to the experience. But that film probably would have gone a bit under the water, like a new horror release titled Oddity that just came out. When that film's a bit under the water, because Longlegs was marketed the crap out of, where everyone heard of it, and a lot of people didn't even know what it was, but they heard what people were saying about it, and they were like, well, I got to check this out, which carried the movie's box office. Yeah, it had a steep second weekend drop, but that's because everyone who wanted to see it and people who didn't even know if they were going to see it and just eventually did, they went opening weekend to see what all the buzz was about.
Actually, are you referring to Longlegs?
Yes.
Longlegs did not actually have a steep weekend. It's still.
I think it had like a 48%, so I don't know what classifies as like steep.
I think it like grabbed like another 12 million around there.
Oh, good.
They are popping bottles there. A bad weekend drop is anything above 60. Yeah. So
okay, good to know.
You get below 50, they're popping bottles and having sex on desks. 100%.
That marketing team,
Wolf of Wall Street style.
Right, exactly. Great example there. I mean, that marketing team especially is probably just getting calls from a bunch of independent horror films to start doing shit for them, because that is what helped Longlegs so much. Yeah, it's one of my favorite films of all time. I absolutely adore Longlegs, but also that marketing intrigued people. There was, I don't know if you guys visited it, but there was this website that tied in with the film called thebirthdaymurders.net, and you could see a lot of the in-universe murders that happened with descriptions of them all tying to the film. And then, of course, they had the number that you could call, and you would hear Longlegs be like, there she is, the almost birthday girl, like a lot of his lines, which was the first time we would hear him speak. And you had great trailers. It all just accumulated to people.
Give the Longlegs marketing team to Shelby Oaks, please.
Yes.
Yeah. There's two other things I want to talk about before we move out of the Twisters topic. This is the box office now. It's at 90 million now. 133 worldwide. Okay? So, what I did is I went to the Disney Springs AMC Theater to see what the tickets look like. How many people are seeing Twisters on a Tuesday night at 7:30? I don't know about you, but not a whole lot of people go to my theater at 7:30 on a random Tuesday to go and see a movie.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. There's
wow. Jeez.
One in F11, E13, all the way up at the front. Thank you, but no, thank you. All the first row is still there, but to back that out, almost 95% full.
That is insane.
But
what was the budget for this? Because I've seen two reports. I've seen 200 million and 150.
It's 200 million.
Okay.
So this will break even. It's gonna take a second weekend drop. However, it's not their fault that Deadpool went in right after them.
Right.
So I think that now, I think it's 200 million. It could be 150. If it's 150, they're good. We might get another Twisters. But this is the 10:30. Late showing, very late showing for people with a 2-hour movie. But here's this. About half full for a 10:30 screening. But what's really crazy to me is when you go down here to the 8:30 showing in the non-special seating. That's still at 8:30 showing, about half full.
Yeah.
Good still.
But there's that. We'll take a look at more of the Deadpool seats because I haven't looked at those yet. We want to feel bad about us being poor. You just wait. Because the Deadpool screenings, I guarantee you, there's going to be a bunch of comic book nerds in there sweating, screaming, and yelling 14 times opening weekend in the theater.
That's me.
14 times.
Yep.
But let us know what you think in the comments down below. And now we're going to go into the comments because we do have a bunch of them.
Oh, wow.
All right, let's get cracking.
I will be seeing Deadpool. He's going to the theater. Holy shit.
Let's go.
Wow.
Hell hath frozen over. He says, I will be going to see Twisters as well. Wow. He's going to watch the first one before he sees it. I hope you enjoy it. Twisters is a fun film.
Yeah.
It's not a good film.
I say this. I didn't like the first movie. I did enjoy the new one. So if you don't like Twister, I would not say don't get turned off from seeing Twisters, because I enjoyed it significantly more than the original.
Yes. Watching a movie in a movie theater is the greatest experience. Yes, it's the best
Absolutely.
place to see a movie.
Exactly.
It's the best place to see a movie. Because I harken back to something like Endgame. If I would have seen that at home by myself, there's no way I'm streaming and cheering and high-fiving some guy I'll never see again in that theater. If I would have saw that at home, I would have went, yeah, that's good. In the theater, that big screen, 500 people clapping, screaming, crying together. There's just something special with a movie like that. And I hate to say it, we haven't had a movie like that since Endgame, where people have literally been high-fiving each other after multiple cameos, multiple characters coming back.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the closest we've got is No Way Home, and Deadpool is definitely, in terms of just movies in general, the biggest film since No Way Home released.
Yes.
Yeah. For
And I think there's just going to be a lot of people getting excited together, which is going to be great.
People can bash Marvel movies all they want, but except for a couple last year and the few years before, but these kind of event movies bring people to the cinema, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People want to go see this movie, but they don't want to go see Furiosa. That's okay. I hope they enjoy this one. This movie's gonna make a shitload of money. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, us movie fans just should be happy that people are showing up to the theater for something.
Yes.
And here's the thing. We cannot doubt Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige has made some stupid decisions, but here's the thing. He's the most profitable producer of all time. $30 billion in box office. No producer has ever done that. Yes, Kathleen Kennedy is regarded by Steven Spielberg, who's the greatest filmmaker of all time, with multiple Best Picture wins, director nominations, multiple actors. Here's the thing. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't have $30 billion in box office with just one franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Without Kevin Feige, we would not even have this movie. We could have ended at Endgame and everybody would have been content.
Yeah.
We could have ended. But here's the thing. It's because of Kevin Feige. It's because of the Fox acquisition that we get this. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I mean, yeah, and Kevin was there from the start. He was a producer on the original X-Men, which was his first film project. So even without him being there on X-Men, we might not have even gotten the MCU, which how many times have that brought people back to theaters? Like after the pandemic and everything, people showed up again for No Way Home.
Yeah. I mean, Top Gun Maverick wouldn't have made $1 billion if Spider-Man No Way Home didn't come out that December, or the previous December.
Now, this next comment is going to be for you guys. I have not seen Longlegs. I have not seen it. There's no possible way I can see it because it's playing in a theater, and I have chosen not to see it. So, Sav wants to know if it'll show it. I've not seen Longlegs. Do you guys recommend it?
Absolutely. It is probably the most well-made, one of the most well-made movies I've seen this year. One of the best horror movies I've ever seen. And if you're a fan of horror movies, if you like detective stories, like if you've seen Silence of the Lambs, there's some stuff that harkens back to it. And even some little like supernatural things sprinkled in there. I think you'd have a great time, and it has a great cast too.
Yeah, I absolutely adored the film. I thought it was fantastic. I recommend it to like everybody pretty much I see. I'm like, hey, if you like horror movies, I want you guys to go check out Longlegs. It is probably the most scared I've been in the cinema, and I don't use like hyperbole like that very often. And it's not hyperbole, because it truly is. I think the way the film enraptures you from that first frame to the last is something that you have to behold. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend and go see it for sure.
Unless you don't fuck with the paranormal or like devils and stuff, which I think that's why you're choosing not to see it, Noah, which is a totally fair choice to skip out on Longlegs for that reason.
Well, in our chat, right? In our group chat, the last line, I don't like that phrase. I don't like that phrase. Absolutely. I don't mess with that phrase, even in a joking manner. But hey, different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely.
It's not for me, and I'm not gonna talk shit on a movie that I know is a good movie. I know everybody loves it, so I'm not gonna talk shit about a movie I know everybody else is is gonna love, even though it's not for me.
Yeah, and if though after the stream, because I don't want to spoil anything that does happen in the film, if
Yeah.
you want to know the context of that line, I can share it.
I would love it.
Yeah.
The last comment before we move on to the next topic, Sav says he has 2 local cinemas. You lucky bastard. He has a a Cineworld and I believe that's View. I want to say that's View. View.
Awesome. Yeah.
Wow. I know Cineworld is basically the biggest theater chain over in the UK, I think. I think it's their version of AMC. I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe. The next topic, we're going to stick with box office. Seems like I bring this up every fucking week. Every week. It broke another record.
Yeah.
Becomes the second biggest animated movie ever.
It's so funny that this happened when me and Gav are back, because when we were on the live show for the first time, we were talking about how we think it's going to grow, but we didn't think it'd reach this point.
Well, here's the thing, right? So right now, the movie is sitting at $1.445 billion.
Jesus Christ.
Why is that significant? There's 2 movies ahead of it. I know multiple people are saying one. No, I'm sorry. We'll look into that in just a minute. $1.445 billion. If you had told me this movie was going to reach $1.45 billion, I literally would have just shit right there on the floor. I would have shit right there on the floor. Why is this significant? Well, here's why. We're going to take a look at the worldwide box office, if it lets me. If not, that's fine. I can pull it up on my phone. But while we're waiting, there we go. While we're waiting for that, has 6.5 million to beat Frozen, to reach the Frozen 2. 6.5 million, 20 million to pass Top Gun Maverick. That is stupid that it's doing this well. There's no way I would have suggested that this movie was going to do this well. Does it reach The Lion King? Because The Lion King 2019 is the biggest animated movie of all time. Does it have enough legs to do it? I don't think so. But what are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I agree.
question.
I don't think it's
What is
gonna.
Lion King at?
Yeah.
1.6. Well, I can pull that right back up. 1.646 billion.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think it's going to surpass The Lion King. It might get close simply because it's still a family movie and people will be seeing that. But once again, with this week's big movie, that's going to draw a lot of people because even though, yeah, it's R-rated, people are going to be like, it's just a new Marvel movie. We'll go see that anyway. Mm-hmm. And so I think, I don't think it has a chance of passing Lion King. Yeah, we could be surprised again, but I doubt it.
I don't think it's hitting Lion King numbers at all, but I think it is going to take over Frozen 2, and it could get, I think it might get within a hair of Top Gun. It's still kind of crazy that Top Gun's up there, to be honest. But yeah, I think the legs are going to keep going. I think having it licensed to the 100-day exclusive was a genius idea, and I'm glad Disney is doing it more with Alien Romulus. So, I think it's going to keep making money. It's hard to talk more new stuff about Inside Out when it's so constant how great this film is performing.
Well, here's the massive thing, though, too. Inside Out 2 has not had a 50% drop since it's opened.
Oh.
It hasn't dropped 50% yet. I don't know a movie in history that has not dropped 50% within its first 39 days of release.
Wait, it still has like 60-something days left in theaters?
Mm-hmm. That it still has 2 months. Now,
that is crazy.
Granted, it'll be out of most theaters by the time we get to 2 weeks from now. It'll be out of most theaters because it's already dropping theaters.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think it reaches Furious 7. It could reach Top Gun Maverick. It's not going any further. It's not
No.
reaching Lion King.
No, it's not.
There's no way.
No.
There's no way it does. Now, we said the same thing about Frozen 2. When Deadpool and Wolverine comes out, that'll take at least a 60% drop. Second weekend. But that's because it's the biggest movie opening all year. I want to raise the question to you. What makes more money this year? With what Inside Out 2 has done, does Deadpool overtake it? Or does Inside Out 2 remain as the biggest film of the year?
I full honesty think that with because correct me if I'm wrong, was Inside Out 2 released like everywhere opening weekend? Okay.
Yep.
So
4,000
Deadpool
years.
also was fortunate enough to have that as well. But with how much it's tracking, I could see it hitting close or reaching $2 billion at the box office.
Yeah, it's going upwards of like 400 million opening weekend. Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it has a chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if it kicks Inside Out 2 out of the box office for a little bit. I think it could damn near get there. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie ends at like 1.5, 1.6 billion dollars.
No. But here's the thing. Everybody forgets there's other films coming out. We don't know it's going to be the number one. We still have Lion King. We still have Wicked. We still have Moana. Don't count out Joker either. Don't count out Joker. Right. But I'm saying don't count out Wicked. Don't count out Moana.
I think Wicked is probably going to kill it at the box office. I think it's going to, unfortunately, destroy Gladiator.
It's going to destroy it. But here's the thing. The budget for Gladiator 2 did not need to be $250 to $300 million.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that movie's going to be a success.
Here's the thing. How do you do that? Because the budget was... the film, Paramount greenlit the film for $160 million. How do you balloon it to $300? What the hell happened there?
I think basically what happened is the strikes, contract renegotiations, and they had to do reshoots.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I think they had to do reshoots during the time when Pedro Pascal was starting to shoot The Last of Us Season 2, because he was still doing that too. But he's also doing Fantastic Four, so he's being cast in all this stuff, so his pay goes up. Yes, he signed a contract for this amount, but that's before the strikes. That's before the strikes. To get him back to reshoot, this is not anywhere close to what happened. But let's take a look at what happened with All the Money in the World. They paid Mark Wahlberg around $7 million, I think, $7 million to come back and do his reshoots. Michelle Williams got $600,000 to come back, only to do the scenes with Plummer in them. But why that's funny. Let's take a look at what happened. Christopher Plummer got an Oscar nomination. Michelle Williams got an Oscar nomination. He may have got the $7 million. Mark Wahlberg did not get an Oscar nomination for All the Money in the World. What's going to happen here? Is Gladiator 2 a Oscar darling who's going to be a flop? Or do you see them both having good weekends because they're such different films? Wicked is a family-esque, beloved Broadway show that's been on for at least 25, 30 years. Gladiator is a beloved hit that everybody loves, but not everyone can go and see it. So maybe mom and daughter go and see this, Wicked. Father, son, grandfather go and see Gladiator 2. They both make money. Which one do you think? Gladiator flops or Gladiator stands on its own because it's such a different film from Wicked?
I think best case scenario has a Barbenheimer effect. I think that's the best case scenario for the films. But I will say, Wicked I think is still going to overtake it, and I don't see with a almost $300 million budget Gladiator becoming a success. And it needs so much money to become one. I don't think it will. But I will say one thing that might hold some people off from Wicked is that apparently it's a part 1 of 2. So not everybody is going to be like, some families might be like, all right, we'll wait to see this one, and we'll go when part 2 is out. Because I think the plan right now is part 1 this November, part 2 next November.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm still so confused on if that's the plan or not, because nothing in the marketing is saying part 1, which is smart. Do what Dune did. But I mean, still, I don't know. I think it will be interesting, but as much as I love the Gladiator 2 trailer, and as much as I want it to succeed, and I think Gladiator is a great film, I don't see it making great profit.
I totally agree. Because, like, even with your Wicked point about families might be holding off on Wicked until part 2 comes out, general audience members probably don't know that this is a part 1.
Right.
Due to all the marketing. And I think Gladiator is going to end up getting destroyed in the box office. I don't think it's going to do well at all, personally. I could totally be wrong about it, but it's releasing same day as Wicked, and Wicked's probably going to, simply because it's a family film, it's going to overtake the box office weekend and a week after Moana 2 comes out.
I think
families will be coming back to see it.
I think the major thing that'll hold back Wicked is the runtime, because it's such a dense thing. They said there's so much story, we need it to be 2 movies. If it's like 2 hours 20, that'll probably hold people back too. But I think both films are honestly kind of not being sent to death, but with Moana releasing the week after, I think both films are going to face a big decline.
I think what's going to happen here is Wicked's not going to have the best opening weekend, but you're going to see a very small decline with Moana 2. I don't think anybody's thinking about this. Double feature, Wicked, Moana 2. Because you have Thanksgiving weekend. Kids are out of school. Grandparents will have the kids at some point. Because if mom and dad are in retail, like I am in a retail store, I'll be working on Black Friday weekend. So if I want to see Wicked or Moana 2, I got to go opening night. Hands down. But my thing is, I think that's going to be a thing too. Double features with Wicked and Moana 2. Because Moana is the biggest movie out there on streaming right now. Wicked, sure, a lot of people don't know it's a part 1. Not saying that you guys are wrong about that, but it's the Broadway show. The Broadway show is one of the most highly coveted things ever.
Yeah. And
Ariana Grande's fans are going to be there. Ariana Grande is one of the biggest stars in the world. I'm afraid she's not going to give me what I want. She's not going to be a Kristen Chenoweth, and Erivo is not going to be a Adele Dazeem. But I always say that only as a joke. I know it's Idina Menzel, but old Oscars joke. But I know it's going to be a good time at the movies that weekend. I'm excited to see all 3.
I think ideally, best case scenario, and I'd love to be wrong about what I've just said, because I'd love for every movie to succeed, but I do think that's the best case scenario. Bam, people get excited, and we have a Barbenheimer scenario for Wicked, Gladiator, and then the films continue to do well on top of the Moana 2 release, and that film, everybody already knows Moana 2 is going to fucking crush it, maybe make $1 billion as well. So
I was going to say a prediction on the box office for Moana, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut until we get an actual proper second trailer. When we get more of Maui, I was going to say 120 million.
That sounds fair. Yeah.
That's not bad.
And I mean,
100. Yeah.
But I think, like, and I'm going to be honest with my thoughts with the Gladiator Wicked opening weekend. I haven't seen Gladiator, and I simply do not really care too much to watch Gladiator right now. And that could change in the coming months when we get another trailer for Gladiator 2, and that might win me over more. But right now, I know for a fact I want to see Wicked opening weekend. Because I'm a big musical fan. I love musicals. And I haven't seen Wicked on stage, and this is a perfect opportunity to get the story of Wicked. And especially for a lot of people who haven't been able to see it on stage yet, it's a great opportunity to see the story of Wicked.
Do we know a runtime for Gladiator 2 yet?
2.5 hours.
Okay, it's 2.5 hours.
36, I want to say.
And Wicked, we don't know a runtime for Wicked yet. So we could have a Barbenheimer effect with the runtime too, because Oppenheimer was 3 hours. Barbie was just about 2.
Mm-hmm.
So roughly, you're going to be sitting there for about the same amount of time, and people did those in one day. But I think that was a good discuss, a very good talk about that, because there's a lot to unpack there. We'll talk about that more once we get closer, once we get some box office tracking of it. But leading into that, what do you guys think about it in the comments down below? Are you excited for any of these films, or are you just waiting for The Lion King? If you're waiting for The Lion King, that's great. It comes out with Sonic 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. What are you waiting for? So leading into that, box office projections are out now for Alien Romulus. I'm stupidly excited for this.
Yeah, same.
I'm going to be there opening night. I hope my theater does a premiere. I will be there at the 7 o'clock premiere of it, and my review will be up on Friday. But this is great for them because the long tracking looks like this. The long tracking looks like $35 to $50 million.
Fuck yeah.
That might not seem like a lot. That may not seem like a lot at all. But looking at what the opening weekends were for something like, say, Alien Covenant didn't fare all that well either. Alien Covenant opened at, once it brings it up here, I'll tell you. I believe it was $35 million, somewhere around there. It opened to around like 35, 36 million opening weekend. For an Alien film with a very big fan base, that's not bad.
It's also important to mention that the reported budget of Alien Romulus is around $40 million.
And that's only domestically, too. That's only
Right.
domestically. So domestically, I don't know how big the fan base is over there in, say, the UK or in China, but hopefully this doesn't do what Twisters did and flops in China. With Alien Covenant, this thing made roughly about 35 million. Prometheus did a little bit better. Why is this significant? I'll tell you why. Because what was the box office opening for Furiosa?
I don't remember.
$26 million. Madam Web was 15 million. Alien, an R-rated horror movie, having a almost $50 million. There's your budget right there. That's your budget. That's without taking the theater cut, the 30% the theaters take. So they take that out. You do what they do worldwide. Easy. 65 million opening weekend worldwide. Easy $200 million film. We will get another one on top of the awesome popcorn bucket that I want my theater to get because I want to be scared shitless every single night.
I know. The buckets are incredible for the film.
This is a great year for funny buckets, but also just cool buckets as a whole.
So what do you guys think about this? Are you happy about this? Do you think it can go higher? Like, do a Twisters and go maybe up to $60 million?
Yeah,
I think this is great. I'm really excited. I'm excited for I didn't love the final trailer, but I do really enjoy the teaser trailer and the first trailer, and I think it's gonna overperform at the box office opening weekend because beloved franchise, and horror fans are gonna want something to see, too. I think it's gonna do great, and I'm really excited for it.
I think the most important part of this is This movie is returning to what people love universally with the Alien films. Sure, Prometheus and Alien Covenant have their fans, but they do different things with the franchise. Now, of course, I am still working through the franchise. If you guys want, on my channel, right, I am going through and reviewing every Alien film. Next up is Alien vs. Predator Requiem. So they're all very different in quality. But the best part of those movies are the horror and the action elements. And Alien Romulus is showcasing to us that that's exactly what this film is going to deliver. And I think that's exactly what people are wanting. People know that Fede Alvarez can do something great with the horror genre. He has proven it with Don't Breathe. And, of course, Evil Dead, which I really love that movie. So, yeah, I can't wait to see how good this movie does. I can't wait for this movie. I think it's going to absolutely crush it. I wouldn't be surprised if the projections get higher, because it doesn't have any competition. It was going to release alongside Horizon Chapter 2. That's been pulled now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just Aliens weekend. I think it's going to crush it. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, a new Alien movie coming out. They're going to see the trailers. The marketing's been really good for the movie. I think a lot of people are going to see that it is a full-blown classic Alien movie. And I think people are going to be excited. I think one thing that will affect the movie is those initial reviews. I think that could maybe stir it up. But from what we've seen, it seems like it's going to be a great-ass movie. Seems like it's going to be a good time. I think it's just under 2 hours as well. So that's going to get people in there. Yeah, I can't wait. I hope this movie does great. I think it will. Especially for a $40 million budget. Yeah, I think it's going to absolutely kill it.
One thing I think is going to help it as well, if you look at what's coming out the weekends before, 2 weeks before that, there's nothing that's going to be making a ton of money before it. Sure, you got Harold and the Purple Crayon and Trap, which I'm stupid excited for. I want to see Trap.
Me too.
I will say about Trap, because I remember we were texting about it in the group chat. I saw that first trailer and I wasn't sold on it.
Second trailer ever.
That second trailer won me over, and I was like, wait, this looks fucking awesome. So I am now, in return, extremely excited for Trap and can't wait to see it.
And I remember we were on a buddy stream, right? Nobody knew what Trap was. Nobody knew who that director was. I was the first one to go, guys, I just heard about the movie called Trap. Here's what it's about. There's no trailer out yet, but here's what it's about. And all it took was just that little 15 seconds. And everybody in the room went, oh shit. I got to see that opening weekend now. Just because it's M. Night Shyamalan, he can either fuck it up or he hits out of the ballpark. It can either be a Last Airbender or it can be a Split. Or at least for me, it can be a Knock at the Cabin. I know it wasn't universally loved. I loved it.
That's great. I was very much so in the middle with Knock at the Cabin. I thought it was very okay, but I think a lot of people, especially classic M. Night Shyamalan fans, it seems like it's going to get a lot of the people who loved The Village and Signs and Sixth Sense, films like that. I believe he did Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Trap will be my first Shyamalan movie, so I'm really excited about that.
And I will say a lot of people were like, it's PG-13, what are we doing? I don't think a lot of people know. Most of his films are PG-13. There are only a handful that are rated R, but I think a lot of people are thinking that's weird just because Knock at the Cabin, his previous film, was R-rated.
And here's the other thing. We saw how much he can do a creepy body horror type of thing with a PG-13 split. With what James McAvoy did, turning into the Beast, you saw his bones cracking and coming out of his skin. Most of the time, PG-13, they don't do that. Most of that, it's considered too graphic. But with Shyamalan, he did it in a way where it wasn't bulging out of the skin and showing any blood or gore. With what Shyamalan does, he's very meticulous about what he does in his films. He does something for a reason, and there's always a twist. This twist, I have a hunch I know what it is, but I'm not going to say a thing until I see the movie. But the week before Alien, nothing's coming out that's going to do big business. You got Borderlands and It Ends With Us.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think either look very good. I'm going to go see Borderlands because I am a fan of the games. I was not sold. And we only got one trailer, which isn't a great sign either.
And they're hiding the marketing. That's the thing. They're hiding a big budget film. This thing was made back in 2021.
Yeah, they shelved it for a little bit.
Yeah, this was filmed. Ariana Greenblatt made this before she made Barbie. So in a way, Barbie may have helped that a little bit. They might go, wait, that's a little girl from Barbie. That's not going to help you. She might be a bigger star now, but you got Jack Black, Kate Blanchett, and Kevin Hart in there.
Not to mention Jamie Lee Curtis.
And Jamie Lee Curtis. That's only opening. It's only looking at what, $15-20 million? If I'm being generous. If I'm being very generous.
And for, like, let's look at another PG-13 very popular video game adaptation. Five Nights at Freddy's crushed it. This one, as well, is a PG-13 video game adaptation releasing in the summer in a slow month. Why is the promotion not very hard for this movie? Tell you what, it's probably not very, very good.
And I'll say this: they might have more faith in this than they did in Five Nights at Freddy's, because with Five Nights at Freddy's, one of the main giveaways that, sure, it was a fun movie. It was a very fun movie. It was not very good.
No, it was not.
They knew what they were doing. When you stick a movie on streaming the same day it goes in theaters, very few exceptions. Like what's a good one? Marry Me. That J-Lo film with Owen Wilson, that opened on Peacock the night it came out in theaters. I went, sure, I'll skip it in theaters, and I just watched it on Peacock. I highly regretted it because I had a great time with that movie. Most of the time you put a movie on streaming and in theaters, the movie's garbage. The movie's garbage. What saved it was you gave the fans what they wanted, but you didn't help the casual audience know anything, because it wasn't really Five Nights at Freddy's horror based. It was more of a family drama that added in a subplot about his sister potentially being taken away from him, and it wasn't really focused on the Five Nights at Freddy's characters, which I'm hoping this next one will, because if not, then you're just gonna piss me off.
Yeah, my thing with especially the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is I've grown up with the games. I know so much of the lore. Watching the movie, though, even though I knew exactly what was going on, that third act came across and I was like, God, I feel bad for a lot of the general audience who's not going to know what the fuck is going on because they just blast through it and they add so much stuff and they combine so much stuff in there. We should not have gotten Springtrap or William Afton in the suit by the end of the first movie. Have him be have him be in this movie, tease it a little bit, have him be more central in 2, and then have Springtrap be the main antagonist of 3. Do a trilogy of movies.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem with FNAF. It's a pretty messy movie. Fun, but messy. I wouldn't say it's a terrible movie, like a lot of people say. No. I think it's fine. Like, it's competent. The animatronics are great. They just need a much better screenplay. I think that's a lot of where the movie falls. But yeah, Borderlands, we got one trailer. I just checked. It came out 5 months ago. And they haven't released a trailer.
I even haven't seen, because I've gone to the movies a lot since that trailer came out, and I haven't seen it once. I haven't seen it once in theaters. But like what Gab said with like FNAF and how that movie just like catered completely to the game audience, in the moment, because it came out on Peacock. Gab watched it Thursday night on Peacock. I was like, I've been waiting so long for this movie, and I'm still a big fan of the games. And so I went and I watched it on the big screen. I had a great time. It was a packed audience. And actually, when the movie ended, some girl a couple rows ahead said, I don't know what a Five Nights at Freddy's is, but I thought that was a fun movie.
Yeah, I was confused because like we had those initial critic reviews out and they were like 30, 40s in there initially, and I was watching the first half and I was like, I don't get it. Yeah, it's a little unfocused. I wish we had more of the actual Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, but it's not bad. And then there's a flawed misunderstanding of why people love Five Nights at Freddy's when they do the whole like montage of them building a fort, because instantly you kill any tension that will be in the film by having the animatronics be all cutesy and shit.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind that scene at all.
Yeah, I think they should have cut it. I think if it was just, I do agree. I think they should have done more, kind of humanize the animatronics in a way, because it is the spirit of children in there.
Yep.
But they went too far. Because how am I supposed to feel scared when we have the first half of the movie where they occasionally show up and kill people off screen, and fucking split someone in half, and then they play, I'm not going to be very much so worried about what's going on because they were just cutesy 10 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, but like what I was saying with like and like what you brought up with Springtrap showing up, I'm still a massive fan of the games and I love following the lore and stuff like that. So I was just really excited to see Springtrap on the big screen played by Matthew Lillard, but it was very rushed. And even with like the finale, with how they like won over the animatronics with the drawings, I actually liked that. I thought that was a great idea of how to get the animatronics on your side because the drawings were used for them to manipulate them before, which was brought up, and it's brought up with like the psychiatrist and everything that children often express themselves through drawings. So I thought having it come back in the third act was a great idea, but the third act had a lot of problems with execution.
Yeah.
And just back to Borderlands because we got pretty off topic there, but it just, to me, I watched the trailer. It looks like an unfunny merge of the 2016 Suicide Squad and the James Gunn Suicide Squad.
That's what it's reminding me of a lot.
It feels like to me they put those two together and stripped out the kind of cool, some of the cool stuff that was in, some of the cool gritty stuff that was in Suicide Squad, because I do like some of the stuff in there, but they also took out the funny stuff in the fun, in the violent action of James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and I feel like, at least for me, the violence is pretty important if you're doing Borderlands because those games are mature rated.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I would love to sit down in that theater and just watch Borderlands and be like, that was a blast. I had a great time with the movie. But we need these video game movies to hit the levels of, like, I didn't love the movie, but a lot of people liked Mario. We need that kind of line of, I think it's not a perfect movie, but the perfect example of a video game adaptation done right is Sonic 2.
Yep.
I think that movie perfectly blends giving fans what they want, getting Super Sonic in there, getting a lot of stuff in there, but still making it a good movie in there too. And it's not messy, it's not conflicted, whereas Five Nights at Freddy's, I love that Sonic, the first movie it's Sonic, and it's the new human characters. That's what the first movie is going to be, and as we do sequels, we'll progressively get a lot more of the Sonic stuff we all know and love. Five Nights at Freddy's, they got too excited, and they put too much stuff in there at once. They should have spread it out. I think if every video game movie could do something like Sonic 2 did, and nailing general audiences enjoying it and game fans enjoying it, we'd be set. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get that with Borderlands.
Well, what worked so well with the Sonic movies, in my opinion, as a fan of the games, is that they took characters and some of the aspects from the games and molded a new story around it, which worked. And I'm not like too knowledgeable on Borderlands outside of some of the gameplay elements, but it just kind of seems like they're throwing some shit at the wall to see what sticks.
I think the Suicide Squad comparison is like perfect for that.
But here's one other thing, right? My theater is not getting the Borderlands.
Oh, interesting.
My theater, I was in the theater for Horizon. I wanted to walk out. I wanted to sleep. So I pulled out my phone, which I never do, and it seemed my theater had put up a post. Already 30-something comments, 2 minutes before, right after it came out. August 9th, we need to know Borderlands or it ends with us. Right now, it's at like 150-ish comments. 120 of those, it ends with us. Because it's Colleen Hoover. It's Colleen Hoover. She might not be a beloved author, but she's a popular author. People know those books. They know that name. It's Blake Lively. It's Blake.
We gotta get you a better theater, man.
Well, here's the thing. I would have went to see It Ends With Us anyways. I would have went to that before the Borderlands, because at least with a romance movie, you don't need a second trailer. You know what you're getting with it. With Borderlands, you need a second trailer. And since we've only gotten that one 5 months ago, they're hiding the marketing. But we need to move on to the next topic.
Yes.
But there is that, guys, we got a lot of comments, and we'll rush through these. And then we got a big topic, and that's the reason I wanted these guys on, because these next three are fucking huge. But first, we got to talk about Sav. And then we got a member from our group chat in there. Do you watch Big Polly's live streams? I've talked to Big Polly. I've watched his live streams. He's a great UK YouTuber who does movie hunting videos. He goes and sees all the movies in the cinema. He's a Daisy Ridley lover. Loves that woman to death. He does these videos, one called What's in the Poundland Bin and What Flick Will Polly Pick. Every time he does one of those, he had these little books that came from, I think, Poundland or CX or something. And just little books said, Be More Vader. And then the next one was Be More Yoda. Every single one was just one page. And it was just like a little paragraph of a inspirational quote or something like that in the way that Vader would say it, or in the vein of, like, say, a Yoda, like, a day you will have. Good it must be. And then that's the end of the page. It's just the dumbest thing, but it's still inspirational. You guys are awesome. Thank you. You're awesome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You're awesome for watching us.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just three guys bullshitting about movies.
Yeah.
I love the X-Men movies.
Me too.
I'll say this. I gave up on my binge because I got sidetracked with screeners.
Fair enough.
I don't love the X-Men movies. I like the characters a lot, most of them. But if you were, I will say, best X-Men project. If you were to watch any Noah, I would immensely recommend X-Men '97.
Okay.
So great.
I'm going to watch that right after Deadpool.
Yes.
And Wolverine 1 because it's up for Emmys, which we'll probably talk about closer to the Emmys because I will be doing some predictions for those. But Longlegs should be good. I will go and see it.
Awesome.
Yes, go to
Let's
the theater.
go.
Love to know
Go
your
to the
thoughts on
theater.
that film.
Have a very fun triple feature of Deadpool, Wolverine, Twisters, and then Longlegs. So you can prepare to be scared with a Twister. You can shit yourself in Longlegs, and then you can go and laugh your butt off in Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Noah, have you seen the first two Deadpool films?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, yeah, and then you have seen Logan, so you're pretty much set.
I remember going to the theater to see Logan. I was like, okay. I'd only seen... No, I hadn't seen any X-Men before that anyways. But I went to the theater. I saw that movie 2 or 3 times in theaters. I loved it.
Yeah, it's
I love
fantastic. I think it's a masterpiece, personally.
And those 3 weeks in March 2017, massive. March 3rd, you had Logan. March 10th, you had Kong Skull Island. And then Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about movies that killed at the box office. Those were the 3 biggest weekend of the entire year. Cineworld is big in the UK. And The View, I said The View correctly. I used to work in an Odeon cinema in the late 90s. I used to get 2 free tickets. Wow, 2 free tickets a week. And I got a lot of free posters and film stills.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's nice. Those are good benefits for
I know
sure.
our theater, I think it's any movie, unlimited amount. If we work there, you can get tickets too. So I've honestly, fucking theaters are expensive as fuck to go through. So I might just have to work there.
Sav can't wait to see the new Alien movie. You're with all 3 of us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Alien movies have a big following in the UK. Okay, so it's probably going to be massive over there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Big. So that's awesome. And we got Michael.
Hey, what's up,
Welcome.
Michael?
Hey, what's up, man?
Welcome. Sonic 2 is just awesome. Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, this is going to be gibberish to you guys. You guys are not wrestling fans. I'm a connoisseur. I mean, I literally have a John Cena poster here and a Blockers poster there. And I just pre-ordered his retirement stuff, which broke me. But
Yeah.
Noah, what's your thoughts on Liv Morgan's segment last night on Raw? Okay. I was on a stream with Luke, you, and everybody else. We were talking about Mommy, Rhea Ripley. Dom is supposed to be cheating on Mommy with Liv Morgan. And if you don't know who Liv Morgan is, hey.
I do actually do know who Liv Morgan is because she was on Chucky. That's how I know her.
This is gonna be dumb as shit. I know her from Chucky, and I know she's in Fortnite.
Yeah, she's in Fortnite. But man, you don't. I don't think you understand. I don't think you I'm gonna put me full screen here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This was a religious experience for everybody there, because everybody went, Dom, what are you doing? Are you fucking stupid? She turned around live on Raw and said, hey, guys like him don't want girls like you. We can't do that. So she turns around and she goes, guys want someone like me. That crowd went fucking ballistic.
I imagine so.
She turned around and the memes, I'm telling you, everybody went, Mommy, Liv, Mommy, Liv, Mommy, Liv. He wins at both. He has Mommy and Liv. How do you lose? How do you lose? And the funny thing is, in real life, Dom's married to a beautiful girl who he was dating for 11 years before he even proposed. The only girlfriend he ever had was for 11 years. So good on him for that.
Yeah.
So on TV, he gets to kiss Liv Morgan, have him lay on top of him in the ring. He lands on her in the ring. They party before Mommy comes back from her injury, who Liv injured. You think that there's a lot of lore in the video games and comic books? Oh, hell no. There's a lot of lore in wrestling, too. It's because it all connects. And for 16 years, I've been the biggest fucking nerd about it, and I love it. But long-winded thing, I love that. Seth says, nice pick. That's Liv for you. We love her around here. But my long-winded answer is I loved it. Dom was asked, so I want you to say it was 3 words to me. She meant I love you, and he goes, I hate you, Liv. And he said in Spanish, why can't you understand, you stupid bastard? I fucking hate you. You are ruining my life. Stay away from me. He said that all in Spanish.
Oh, shit.
And the only reason I know that is because it was on a wrestling thread on Facebook. Someone had to translate it because nobody knew what he was saying, or else he would have gotten pulled off of the USA Network. But in short form, I love it. But that was my long-winded answer. I can talk wrestling anytime. I mean, it's the greatest sport in the world. It's live every single week. Do you guys think Hugh Jackman will wear the Wolverine mask? It has been confirmed he will wear the Wolverine mask.
Yes, and I'm 100% sure. Not only because Funko Pop I have has Hugh. This is the movie one. Has Hugh wearing the mask. I got this from an AMC. Has promo art. Hugh's wearing the mask, and I also have merch that has Hugh wearing the mask. So even though I haven't seen him in the mask, and I'm really excited to on Friday when I see it, I am 100% sure that Homeboy is finally wearing it.
Now, what I do need to know is if it will look good.
I will say this. Hugh wouldn't have done it. Hugh would have had to say so if it looked awful.
But
and it's
I
going to
want
be
to
a
know
little
why
bit.
they're not showing us it. None of the marketing. Even the thumbnail, it looks like he's probably wearing it there.
Yeah. I think that's exactly it. They want people to experience Hugh in the full outfit for the first time on a big screen, and I applaud the shit out of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think it's only going to be a little bit.
I think it's like total of 10 minutes of screen time. He's in the mask, and honestly, after 24 years of no yellow and blue, that is fine with me.
At least he's wearing his iconic costume.
I know.
He's wearing the costume, and we're getting Wolverine back to R-rated.
Exactly.
Stab Fool straight up the jaw, right in the jugular.
Mm-hmm.
Slice him open, rip him open. That's what we want.
We want we want Logan to be full Logan, not
Mm-hmm.
tame.
which is exactly why I'm so excited to see him do. Oh yeah. This is a She-Hulk Jumbo Funko Pop, and I put a Wolverine mask on her.
That's kind of what I did with my Mike or fucking hell Jason mask in the back because I just put it on a droid.
Mm-hmm. But what I absolutely love Logan. I think it's a master.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's great. But yeah, I love Logan. I think it's a masterpiece. The only thing is that it's a slower. He's an older Logan. I'm gonna show this too while I talk. And I'm excited that he's gonna be full aggressive Wolverine, and while he's still young and active, and I think that's gonna be great to see, which I'm stoked for.
Absolutely.
Because we didn't really get that outside of the third act in the film, so I'm just excited to be having him. I can't wait for the fight scene by the 20th Century Fox sign with him and Deadpool, because what we've seen from the trailers rules.
But we have to move on. But I will just say this: I will have you on the next stream, man. I'll have you on the next stream when I do like a Tuesday night screening. God, show. We're talking about theaters and show times and everything else, and Words trying to do a show. Words.
Yep.
They're hard in the English language.
Yep, that's difficult.
They're talking about this one. Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom in Avengers 5. Let's do a little bit of context. Before we go into the article, there's a comic book story where Iron Man comes back. Tony Stark in a different world comes back and becomes Dr. Doom. That does happen in a story. It's just a rumor. It's a rumor. But right now, that does mean what we think is true, but not the way we think it happens. They're bringing in Robert Downey Jr. again at some point, whether it's in Avengers 6 for Secret Wars or in Avengers 5, whatever that's called. We'll find out this weekend at Comic-Con when the ad drops. We'll talk about that next week. Or I will. I don't know if these guys will be back or not. We'll have to time that out and see. But I'll talk about that next week. But this is very interesting. With something like this, this can go one of two ways. Depending on who the writer is, it can go completely awful. Or it can be the smartest thing they've ever done. Because, I hate to say it, without Robert Downey Jr., we have not had a whole lot of love and greatness in the MCU without Cap or Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate to say it this way, but I'm going to quote John Campea. Steve Rogers is Captain America is Steve Rogers. Tony Stark is Iron Man. Iron Man is Tony Stark. It's not like with Spider-Man where you have 5 different variants of Spider-Man and anybody can be named Spider-Man. This one, Thor is Thor. Cap is Steve Rogers. Yes, Falcon is now it. Cap is coming back at some point. Iron Man's coming back at some point. But we need to take a look at this article because this is where it gets really juicy.
Because I will say, without giving my thoughts yet, I do have a lot of thoughts on this rumor.
I have a couple. Not much, but yeah.
As they give me an Edie's ad for vanilla ice cream. Yes. Sponsor me. No. Anyways, Robert Downey Jr. could return as Tony Stark before becoming Dr. Doom. Rumors have been doing the rounds that Robert Downey Jr. could return as Tony Stark / Iron Man variant in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for quite a while now. And the actor himself has admitted that he would be very interested in reprising his famous role should the opportunity arise. He says, it's not going to let... Okay, I was about to say, don't you dare. It's just crazy in my DNA. Probably the most like-me character I've ever played, even though he's way cooler than I am. He said in a recent interview, when asked about a potential return, I become open-minded to the idea. If Robert Downey Jr. does suit up as Iron Man again, it will most likely be in one of the upcoming Avengers movies. But what if this new take on the Armored Avenger goes down a villainous path? In a newsletter, Jeff Snyder, who is one of the biggest insiders in the movie world, I've been following Jeff Snyder for a long time because he was with Collider. Phenomenal. He does a great job, and he's barely ever wrong. He says Robert Downey Jr. could return in a future Avengers movie and a Stark variant ultimately transforming into Doctor Doom. Ultimately, Robert Downey Jr. initially auditioned to be the iconic villain of 20th Century Fox's Fantastic Four movie before he landed the role of Tony Stark in Iron Man. If this does happen, we'd see it almost certainly be one and done situation, as another actor will most likely be cast as Doom in Marvel's The Fantastic Four reboot. But here is the issue, right? Marvel has been lacking, to put it the light way. With this, we've seen the variants. This is a variant. I'd rather see this. I'd rather see this for an Avengers 5. Do you remember the rumors of what was going to happen in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
Do you mean Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
I think I am down for that, honestly. Tom Cruise as Superior.
I'll say this. I would rather never see like a Steve Rogers or a Tony Stark return. I think, as much as I know, a lot of people will be like, Sam Wilson isn't Captain America, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. I think he is the new Captain America. He was picked by Steve. This is where we're going. I'd rather just have him be Cap from now on. But I'd say I would hate it if RDJ is Doctor Doom, especially if it is a one and done like they're suggesting. I would much rather have it be a new actor to take on the character than just, oh, we got RDJ back as a villain now. However, I am, like Kevin Feige and RDJ, I am open to a return of Stark if they do it right. They have to crush it. And if they don't, it will be a letdown. Because they ended his story so perfectly.
Exactly.
So, before I let Cam go, because I know he has a lot to say, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
One thing that nobody has thought of, let's think about this. If it's a one and done, what do you do with Avengers 6?
Right.
You can't end with a cliffhanger of, oh, look, Doctor Doom's gone. You can't kill off Doctor Doom that quickly. One, you do not set him up then. Because when does Avengers 5 come out? When does Fantastic Four come out? You can't introduce him in one of the films and he's done. Because if you use a variant of a Tony Stark to turn into a Doctor Doom, a variant of Doctor Doom, then the villain who's going to be a Doctor Doom potentially in Fantastic Four, that's not that intimidating. We've already seen him. We know his powers. We know how strong he can be. What I'd rather see happen is you enter Galactus. Galactus is what you do. Because Thanos was the biggest, strongest guy in the MCU at that point. Kang, you get rid of Kang. Kang is done. You don't bring in Kang anymore. Because, one, that actor was phenomenal. Majors was great. My issue is you don't bring in a Robert Downey Jr. for an Avengers 5 to turn from Tony Stark into a Doctor Doom and only have it for one movie.
Right.
That's because then you can't have anything with Avengers 6, and you don't set up anything for Avengers 6. You do the same thing you did with Endgame and Infinity War. Infinity War, you had the snap in it. You had that snap. That brought everybody back. The following year, 1 year exactly, you do that same exact thing with this. So I'm going to let Cam loose because I know he has a lot to say, but try and keep it quick so that we can keep this segment under 20 minutes so I can still have a
definitely. So quite simply, Doctor Doom, right off the bat, is a top 3 villain for me ever, not just in comics, movies, anything. I love Doctor Doom. I think he's great. RDJ as Tony Stark / Iron Man, perfect casting. If we're bringing RDJ, even if it's not just in a one movie appearance, if we bring him back as Tony Stark to be an evil Doctor Doom, I hate it. I know what happened in the comics. I don't like that they did it in the comics. I do not want to see it in the movies. I would like to see Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man, but still, I really want to see in Secret Wars, because it's such a massive event, I want to see Hugh Jackman Wolverine next to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and RDJ Iron Man. I don't want RDJ to come back and be a Doctor Doom, because I want regular Doctor Doom to be a big threat overall, because in the Secret Wars comic event, the most recent one, he is the main villain of that, and basically the main character of that event too. And I think that needs to be captured before we even consider doing variants of Doctor Doom. So right now, I hate the idea of Tony Stark being a Doom, but if it's executed properly and we get an amazing writer to do it, I'm curious to see how it goes. But right now, I hope they don't do it.
Yeah, I fully with that, because I think, I'll keep this quick too, but I think the biggest problem with especially Kang, if they do change trajectories, is they already kind of shot themselves in the foot with having him lose to fucking Ant-Man in his debut movie as the true Kang the Conqueror. Having him lose to Ant-Man, what they should have done is have him win in Quantumania and trap Ant-Man and the Wasp in the quantum realm, and then have him again built up, because they aren't doing a very good job. So I feel like there is a chance they could switch it to Doctor Doom, but I 100% new actor.
I already think they could write out Kang. Dude, have you seen Loki season 2, Noah?
No.
Okay, well, without direct spoilers, the season ends in a way where it can be an okay stopping point with the character of Kang.
Okay.
So they could stop Kang, and it would make a bit of sense.
Yeah.
I can see that. What I see happening really, really quickly, we know that the Russos are potentially doing it.
Mm-hmm.
When they say they're in talks and it's announced, I think they're doing it. What they do here is this. You don't give us a Doctor Doom with just a variant of Doctor Doom, because one, that's stupid. What you do is you give us a different villain. You set him up. Maybe you set him up in a Thunderbolts, maybe in a post-credit scene of Thunderbolts to say, hey, here's who's coming next, like we got with Guardians.
Take us to Latveria. Have them go on a mission to Latveria, and we get hints of Doom.
That's what you need. Fly there, say where you are, and that's all you need. That's all you need, and then you have him say something. Whether it's home. If he's flying a ship and he just says home, fine. That's all you need. But there's that, and this is a very fun topic, because I knew that Cam was going to go nuts. Because if anybody knows comics in this group more than anybody, it's Cam. He reads them. He knows the stories. I know stories, but I don't read them as much, but I know of them.
Yeah, funny thing, literally sitting next to me is a collection that's just the first 36 issues of Avengers. I know this stuff.
So I don't know much about the comics. I just purely speak from what has happened in the films.
Yeah. Yep. I also have a Fantastic Four book, so I got stuff going on with Doom and Galactus and everything like that just up here.
So that's everything about that topic. But what do you think? Do you want to see Robert Downey Jr. return as Doctor Doom, or do you want to be like us and not have that happen? Bring in somebody like a Galactus. Bring in somebody. Maybe we get a World War Hulk. We could get a World War Hulk.
I'd be so down for that, by the way.
But there's that. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let us know your thoughts. This is the big one. This is going to be a tangent, because people in our chat, but also people in general, are bitching. What's a spoiler? What's a spoiler? The way to explain this, and the way we're going to talk about this, is very simple, okay? I'm going to show you this first, because this is marketing. If they show you something in marketing like this, X-23, that's not a spoiler. It's in a final trailer.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, yeah, she's in the movie. But here's the thing. It's marketing. That's not a spoiler.
I think it's
What would
also
be a
important
spoiler?
to note. It is also important to note that even if she wasn't in that final trailer, she is going to be on that red carpet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
And it's also, it comes down to the fact, it's not a spoiler, it is a reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even that surprising of a reveal. Was I really excited when I saw her in that trailer? Yes, but that's because I kind of knew based on the first trailer we got, not the teaser, but the one after that. I had a theory, and I even said it in my reaction. I think that I said that in that forest is Wolverine talking to Laura. And it turns out he was. I don't think that's that big of a reveal because obviously there's going to be some ties to Logan, and it only makes sense that we see Wolverine's daughter. So I don't think that's a spoiler. I don't think anything that's been shown in any of the trailers should be classified as even Sabretooth. I don't think that's a spoiler. And also, if you were aware of the set leaks that went on for the past 2 years, you already knew Sabretooth was in the movie. You already knew Toad was going to be in the movie, and they're not. And based on what we've heard from the premiere and the first 40 minutes that people saw, it's only a taste of what we've seen because there's still so much they're hiding from us. So a spoiler is something that if someone uploads something from the premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine that went down last night, and it's not from the trailers, and it's a cameo and a character reveal, that is a spoiler because that is stuff that wasn't marketed, and it's being revealed by a third party.
Mm-hmm.
That's at least what I would classify a spoiler as.
I think it's very simple to classify a spoiler. If it is used in TV spots, trailers, marketing material, it's clearly not their concern that it is a spoiler for a movie. Obviously, it would have been a spoiler if it wouldn't have been a spoiler if Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were in the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home. But because it was such a big reveal, it wasn't in the marketing, and they hit it. Obviously, clearly, Daphne Keane is going to matter significantly, especially to Wolverine in a movie like this. And it's clearly nothing they're waiting for people to go, yeah, baby, and just do shit like that in the movie. It's not a spoiler. It's in a trailer.
Yeah, and also look at it this way. Ryan is a marketing genius. If they're showing Sabretooth and Laura Kinney back in this movie, what aren't they showing us? What are they purposely avoiding if they're marketing the first 40 minutes of the movie?
Now, that is kind of not a great mentality to have, especially when we have something like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, when they showed the Illuminati in trailers. And a lot of people were like, if they're showing us this, what crazy stuff are we going to get? And that was really it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have this mentality going into Deadpool if it wasn't confirmed by people who have seen. Yeah.
Everybody who's seen it is like, it's just the first 40 minutes.
It's just the first 40 minutes, and even the director came out, because Sam Raimi didn't say anything about cameos for Multiverse of Madness. We were all just kind of guessing because Multiverse was in the name, and it came after No Way Home. But with this one, the three main guys, Ryan, Hugh, and Sean Levy, talked about how there are cameos in this film. And, yeah, go ahead.
And here's the thing. Watching all the reviews, watching all the reactions, reading everything I've read, I've only been spoiled on one thing, which I spoiled for them, which I'm not going to say on stream. Don't worry. It's not that big a spoiler that Batman shows up naked in the movie, okay?
And also, before you get mad at him for spoiling it for us, he didn't even say what it was. We guessed, and he confirmed it.
Yeah.
So, and it was something that we were already pretty sure about.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if we didn't want to know, we wouldn't have guessed what it was and asked him to confirm it. So it was.
Yeah.
He wasn't just like, "Hey, this has happened." He's not that kind of guy. No, we asked. So.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? What I've read and what I've been told and heard. If you get spoiled for one thing, don't worry. There's 75 other things you don't even know.
Especially for the movie that is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I have been told you are not ready for the after the 40-minute mark. I guarantee you, Gavin, you will have to take that popcorn bucket, wave it in front of Cam's face to see if he is still conscious.
Right.
I guarantee you will have to shake him
Yeah.
to get him to get out of that theater. And he will be there every single other day or every single day to see it multiple times.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I already know because I was shaking when we saw Hugh in the suit for the first time. Imagine how I'm gonna react. Not even with the cameos. How I'm gonna react when he puts on the mask, or when because I've only seen the Heineken ad in the teaser trailer in theaters, so I haven't even seen any of the in-film stuff of Hugh in the suit on the big screen yet. So when I watch the movie, that's gonna be my first time seeing Hugh in the full suit, top to bottom. So I'm going to be losing my mind as a big X-Men fan because they're my favorite team ever. And I'm probably going to have to be pinched a couple times to be sure I'm still conscious.
Yeah.
It's going to be a surreal experience for everybody.
Yeah.
So even if, like, one cameo is seen or one cast reveal is seen, something like that, it's such a minute part in everything the film has in store for us. It
really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
especially with what you told us. I don't count it as a spoiler because it wasn't, and I'm not going to say anything else, it wasn't a character reveal.
Right.
There's 2 characters I think we can all guarantee are in it. I can guarantee you we already knew that X-23 was going to be in it. We already knew. Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
There's no way he's not.
Yeah.
I will raise you this. We get both.
I think so too.
James McAvoy
Mm-hmm.
and Patrick.
And I think it makes the most sense to get James McAvoy. Obviously, I think if we get a flashback of what happened in Wolverine's world, I'm hoping for this, but I'm not going to be disappointed if we don't. I think we're going to get a flashback of, because we see in the trailers, Cassandra Nova is like probably going into Wolverine's mind. I think we're going to have a flashback where maybe we see an event similar to something that happened in the Old Man Logan comic. And which I'm not going to say what that is because some people probably would consider that a spoiler for Deadpool and Wolverine, even though it's just a theory I have. But and it's something that I pulled straight from the book. But I think we're going to get a flashback to Wolverine's world, and we're going to see the original cast from the original 3 films, but this time in the iconic suits. Because we have the line in the final trailer where Wolverine says, Scott always begged me to wear this suit, Storm and Beast too. So I think we're probably going to see them back.
I will say, on regards to that, I would love to see Scott in a comic accurate suit.
Yeah.
On film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we have once for a couple of seconds in X-Men Apocalypse. And that was it. And then in Dark Phoenix, they just ditched it and were closed the whole time. So, like, I'm hoping that happens, and I think that's going to happen. But I've set my expectations where I'm just kind of expecting a couple fun X-Men cameos in the void. We know we're getting Azazel, Toad, Deathstrike, Sabretooth, X-23. Outside of that, I have zero clue who could... and Pyro. Yeah, I forgot about Pyro, yeah. Outside of them, I legit have zero idea who could show up.
Yeah.
And that's what's
Elektra's in there.
Elektra's most definitely in there, but I'm just so excited because going into No Way Home, we knew Toby and Andrew were going to be there. We knew they would be in that movie. Right. What's so fun about Deadpool and Wolverine is that we really don't know who's going to show up.
Unlike a Spider-Man movie, this movie is not just Deadpool and Wolverine, but it is just Fox X-Men era. Movie.
Not even that. It's
so they have so much potential on what they can do.
Yeah, and it's not even just that because it's under Marvel as a whole because now Disney owns just about everything. So it's not just Fox Marvel. It's just Marvel properties as a whole that we could be seeing here.
Which Deadpool can do so well because he's always a fourth wall breaker and he can do shit like this. Whereas Spider-Man, not that kind of movie, not that kind of character.
Yeah, there's limits to that where we pretty much know, but they kept us so in the dark, which is great about the marketing here.
Here's the thing, though. That's one thing nobody's ever even thought of. Yes, X-Men characters will show up in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Who shows up from the MCU? Because there's gotta be somebody.
Yeah.
Who shows up there?
Wait, Noah, hold on. You actually just sparked something in my brain because I have not yet considered, like, once in the past couple of months who from the MCU could show up outside of some TVA members. But, like, in terms of main player MCU characters, I legit haven't thought about that. I've been mostly thinking the original trilogy of X-Men. Like,
I think there's a good chance because, one, he does know what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is. He does know this other world.
mm-hmm.
He sees footage. So I think that there's a good chance. Everybody thinks Spider-Man. I'm sorry, Sony is not going to let Spider-Man be in a Deadpool movie because, one, they would have to be a producer on it and they would have to distribute the movie for it to happen. So Spider-Man is not in it.
Yeah, we get a Spider-Man reference with the thwips. That's enough for me. I'm showing up as an X-Men fan, so I'm not expecting Spider-Man.
But what I think is we will get some Marvel characters in there that we don't even think about. We don't even think about. So what I'm thinking is it's not going to be a cameo fest. Each cameo is going to serve the story well.
Which is what I heard.
I'm thinking that, and that is great. But we're not done talking about Deadpool. But let me know what you think of this topic in the comments down below.
And maybe even give us some of your cameo predictions on who you want to show up. That'd be fun to hear too.
And if you've seen the movie, do not spoil anything. If you spoil anything, I will ban you. I will delete the comment, I will ban you, and you will never be allowed in any of our groups again. Any of our videos or chats again.
Yep. Because
this is the biggest movie since Endgame.
And I'm even on theme with my shirt. I got a Deadpool shirt on. I was prepared for this. I've legit been wearing only Deadpool stuff for like the past 2 weeks. So,
but let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We need to go into the comments really, really quick. Michael says, I never knew Iron Man coming back as Dr. Doom. Yes, he did that in a comic run.
Yeah. Interesting idea. Yeah, sure. Yeah, interesting idea. I don't think it was executed well, but that is a reveal right there.
Wow.
This is a reveal.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're getting rid of the Tom Holland Spider-Man, I know who I'm going if I need some money.
Mm-hmm.
So Sav has been cast as Spider-Man, everybody. Breaking news, send it into Deadline. Tell them that Noah Kaser Live sent you there because we got the exclusive and they can kiss my ass.
Wait a minute. Is he Spider-Man or is he Spider-UK? Because that's a version too. That's a variant.
What I might say is he's Spider-Bloke. Spider-Bloke.
Yeah, that's fair too.
That's a new character. I mean, a new character in the MCU. I enjoyed the first two Fantastic Four movies. I have not seen them. I've only seen Fant Four Stick, and it exists.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I grew up. I only recently watched the second Fantastic Four movie, and I think it's really fun. I grew up on the original, have so much fun with it, even on rewatches, which is funny. Fant Four Stick is my least favorite movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I despise it, but I have a lot of fun with the original two movies. I think they're a blast.
Yeah, craziest part about Fant Four Stick is that there is just no second act.
Like actually, they just
no second act.
Yeah.
I want to see Wolverine versus Hulk. I think you could.
That would be awesome.
Point, but
I think that'd be awesome to see Wolverine fight Hulk as a fun reference to Wolverine's first appearance. I doubt that's going to happen simply because Marvel / Disney still doesn't own the rights to do like to a lot of Hulk stuff, especially Bruce Banner. That still is Universal's stuff. So I'd be surprised, but that would be cool.
I would like to see a DC and Marvel movie. What you could see happen is this. I think if they play nice, what you could see is a combined film with it's James Gunn. James Gunn and Kevin Feige are the best of friends. They're supporting each other right now. Superman is going to be heavily pushed, and Kevin Feige is going to be the first in line to shake his hand and say, "Congratulations, you made a great movie."
And Kevin Feige even said to never say never, and that he's open to doing a DC versus Marvel movie, and that is a comic event in itself that they could pull from, which is cool. And Kevin Feige also said the Superman suit looked great, and he's not wrong about that.
I don't want to see Iron Man as we're with you. We don't want to see him become Doom either.
No.
What do you think of the X-Men coming to the Marvel Universe?
Bring it on.
Well,
I say about time.
We knew it was coming. I think they're doing it the right way, and they're not rushing into it.
Yes.
With what Kevin Feige said at the premiere, he says, this is sticking our toes in the water to see how the fans react. One rumor I have heard is this. Laura stays as Wolverine. We don't get a male Wolverine.
That is what I personally want to happen, because we've gotten 24 years of Logan as Wolverine, and I think people are gonna riot if we get a different actor as the main Logan. So I say, keep Laura, have her be Wolverine, and do one of the more recent team lineups and have some fun there. But I'm really excited because Kevin said this was like the start of the mutant era in the MCU, and maybe after the multiverse saga we get a mutant saga, and I'm down for that because there's so many fun stories to do. I just beg, we don't need a third adaptation of Dark Phoenix. So,
but we go on to the last topic before we get into our normal 3 topics. We're going to go into the main topic of this show. The main topic we've been talking about all show, which is the brand new movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. The reviews are out. A lot of people didn't know when the reviews dropped. I did. I knew when they dropped. I didn't give a shit about the fantastic reactions. I'm like, you know what? I know they drop at 10 p.m., but I knew the reviews dropped at 6 p.m. Eastern time the day after. So first we're going to look at this. Right now, it's sitting at 85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Let's go.
But when I looked at it earlier, it would not give me the reviews. But now it will.
Okay.
Now it will. So, the issue was the reviews were not all out yet. They just had the percentage because they were just putting all the reviews back on. This is going to hurt Cam a little bit because it's dropped. It has dropped from 85 down to 79.
Okay, that's not a big deal.
It's certified fresh.
Yes, that is all that matters to me, is that it's certified fresh. I thought it was going to be in the 75 to like 90-ish range. So,
but we're going to go through a few of these reviews, and I'm only going through the ones that I know and respect. All these people are great critics, I'm sure, but I want to go on this one first. This is Deadpool and Wolverine represents a kind of end of civilization moment for our species. Many centuries from now, highly evolved forms of life will be looking back and laughing at us for celebrating such mediocrity.
Okay, I'm sure that guy's nice. That tells me nothing about like his thoughts on the movie other than he thought it was mediocre.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like, why did he think it was mediocre? Like,
that's the thing.
Instead of just comparing it to future, what the people in the future will be mocking us for? What?
with these, they gotta be so brief, but the issue is you need to know how to properly write one.
Right.
With something like, say, a Rachel Wagner, who I absolutely love. Hallmarky's podcast. Love you, Rachel.
Yeah, I follow her reviews too. I read a couple of them. Yeah.
Phenomenal. The raunchy, self-referential humor worked most of the time, and I was laughing. That's what you want as a lead into a review. But there was one down here I really wanted to get to, and one of them is right. Well, you're telling me the same reviews over again, aren't you? Here we go. Wendy from the Movie Couple. I followed her since the Collider days. Love Wendy. The movie is chaotic, as expected in a Deadpool film. However, within the chaos, they found time to give characters emotional arcs and moments, and let those scenes breathe. Great action, great performances, a ton of fun. One of the greatest critics of all time. I do not care what anybody says. It's Richard Roper. He had shoes to fill when Gene Siskel passed away. So when Roger Ebert had to find a replacement for his review show, he chose Richard Roper, one of the greatest critics of all time. He says it's all great fun, and it's just enough to overcome the uninspired direction, mid-level special effects, and hit and miss humor. Down here, I'm looking for someone we both... Okay, here we go. Grace Randolph. I don't love her as a person. As a critic, I don't always agree with her, but this is what she has to say. An instant comic book classic, and not just a return to form for Marvel, but a refocusing. Ryan Reynolds arrives at Marvel like a systemic event. While Hugh Jackman has never been better as a comic-accurate Wolverine. Pure fun, especially for fans.
That review I like that review because they told us some stuff about the movie and why she liked it.
Hey,
Fun fact though, Grace Randolph blocked me on Twitter.
She is very interesting.
Yep. I don't like her at all. I'll say that right now.
I called her out because she said something really ignorant and dumb and she blocked me. So whatever.
Yeah. I don't like her, but I mean, I will say one thing I'm glad about, because I talked to Camden about this too. I was like, all of the movie just seems very jokey, and there's not heart in there to cement the film. Mm-hmm. I'm loving that a lot of these reviews, and a lot of them being people that I oftentimes do agree with, a lot of them are saying there is a central heart to this movie that really pays off, and I'm glad I'm hearing that, because that was really my biggest concern going in.
This is the review I wanted to talk about. Because this guy here, I don't care what anybody says, he is the best film critic on YouTube. Is Austin Burke. I think it's Austin Burke. He literally reviews everything he can. He does in-depth, inspired reviews, and he doesn't pick sides. A lot of people say, well, he just agrees with the Rotten Tomatoes scores all the time. Well, have you seen the Rotten Tomatoes scores after he drops his reviews? Sure. He says Deadpool and Wolverine will reinvigorate this franchise as it injects the glorious madness of our Merc with a mouth in the best and most self-aware way. Those who show up for the dynamic between our title characters will get an insane amount of payoff.
Let's go. That's what I'm there for. I'm literally there for... Obviously, cameos, character reveals will be fun to see. I'm going in for Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what I'm seated for.
And the final review I will touch on is from William Bibbiani. William Bibbiani, great critic. Phenomenal critic. Love this dude. However, let me see if I can pull that up just a little bit bigger. I can. That's great. Okay, we can see him. Can everybody see this a little bit better?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
Okay. William Bibbiani says a shameless piece of a shameless piece of self-congratulation fueled by self-cannibalism as the studio which built its identity on superhero crossovers finally abandons the pretense of trying to justify them dramatically.
Interesting.
William Bibbiani is one of the best critics on the internet. In written reviews, video reviews, it's Austin Burke, it's a Jeremy Johns, it's a Chris Stuckman, and I'm not gonna say us because me and Gavin are smaller. We don't have that many big number of subscribers, but Austin Burke is one of the best video reviewers. William, one of the best critics in general. He's been doing it for so long. But looking at this, I did not see Mama's Geek Out. I love Tessa. So I lied one more. This one is for those that have been Marvel fans since the very beginning. Incredible action, unforgettable surprises, epic needle drops, not just bonkers R-rated jokes. It's packed with heart, too. Bring the tissues. You can also use them for your tears.
I'm probably gonna have to, knowing myself. I almost cried. I legit, because I was recording my reaction, so I didn't want to start bawling on camera. I had to hold it back because I was like on the bridge of crying just at the trailer. So the movie's gonna break me, I'm sure.
But here's the thing, right? We are going as fans, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Gavin, on the other hand, we're going to review the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Will we have a good time with it? Oh, yeah. If it breaks us, if it makes us cry, that's great. But if we don't think that the comedy, if it misses more than it hits, if the action is fun, but as we've seen a couple people say, the effects are subpar and mediocre for a Marvel movie, we're going to have to call it out on that. But you can check out those reviews. My review will be out on next Tuesday. Next Tuesday night on this show right here, No Kaser Live. I'll have my review of it live. I'm pretty sure that Gavin's review will be out on Friday night, Thursday night.
So right now, I am seeing this film Friday night. There will either be a review late Friday night or it will be 1 p.m. on Saturday. It will most likely be on Friday. But on Friday, I will announce whether or not the review will be releasing then or on Saturday. You will definitely see what day it's coming out when I say that in my initial thoughts for the film, which will release on Friday.
Yeah, and I will also be reviewing the film. I'm not a film critic, but I do talk Marvel stuff, so I review the movies. I will be having my full review out Friday night. I will also have in the form of YouTube Shorts / Instagram Reels / whatever. I will be doing an audience reaction, or not audience, out of theater reaction for it, which I haven't done since I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because I made a poll and I think it got the most interaction from a poll I've ever done, and everyone said yes. So I was like, shoot, I'll do it. So yeah, I'm so fucking excited to just talk about this movie after seeing it. But at the same time, it's a bit bittersweet because this will be my final time talking on video / stream about Deadpool and Wolverine before I see the movie.
Yeah, and I will say this. I absolutely agree with you, Noah, there. I much more so, for just about every movie I go in there, I am going in as critic. Critic mode is on. I'm ready to judge the film. And it will oftentimes it'll get a pretty middle score, oftentimes when I am reviewing it critically. But there are, of course, some exceptions. I think we all have those. Camden obviously has them with Marvel films.
They're not exceptions. They're just like...
Right.
For me, I don't say exceptions just because, like, it's just Marvel over here. So it's... And yeah, I don't review them critically because I don't know how to review shit critically. I just don't.
Now, for like slasher films, a lot of them I will tend to go a fairly easy on. Not necessarily, but a lot of them I know the tropes, and I know what they will probably have. So I'm not going to fully complain on the film for using tropes if they do the tropes well. But yeah. I think it's a pretty good way to kind of wrap talk on Deadpool Wolverine a little bit. If you want someone who is pure fan, go watch Cam's review when that's releasing. If you want critic review of someone who will look at the film as the full movie it is, check out Noah and myself's review.
Check out these guys if you want critic reviews. Check out my review if you want a fanboy spewing shit for a couple minutes.
And in all honesty, as a critic, yeah, we have our moments. I mean, I'm not going to say we don't have our genres. Your genre is slashers. For me, it's romance.
Yeah.
We all have our bread and butter. And if you do the bread and butter well, if you toast it well and you butter enough, that's great.
Yeah, but I've got some flags for The Strangers Chapter 1. That's a slasher film, and I like it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, no, I think it's a trash movie, but as a slasher film, it works. No, I truly think it's a good movie. Mm-hmm. I have my reasons for it.
Sadly, I didn't get to watch it. because my screener was screwing up, but I'm going to watch that tomorrow, and I will have a review of that on tomorrow's live stream, which I will announce at the end of this stream.
Yeah, I need somebody else to like this movie. I need to have somebody I can talk to who actually enjoyed the film. So,
Except me, because me and Gav talked enough about the movie together.
yeah, I've seen it 5 fucking times now. So,
well, I will say this. I'm the person who enjoyed The Turning and Brahms the Boy too.
so I guess we'll see.
And Night Swim. So I enjoyed
Night Swim?
I enjoyed it more than other people did.
Nice. I didn't know you even saw the movie, if I'm being honest here. So
I will tell you, Noah, don't go into the movie expecting the smartest characters ever, because just like people, they do make some pretty dumb choices. But I would say just go in hoping for a good time, and I think you'll get it. Did you watch the other Strangers films?
No, I saw Pray at Night. So I might do The Strangers and then do The Strangers Chapter 1, or I might just do Chapter 1 first, review it, and then watch The Strangers. To see
If I were you, I would do Chapter 1, then The Strangers, because I'd like to hear your thoughts from someone who, because me and Gav saw the original first.
yeah.
But I would really like to hear someone's thoughts who saw Chapter 1 and then the original.
I will say,
Gotcha.
Pray at Night and Chapter 1 are radically different in tone, style. I absolutely... Now, here's the thing. I really like Chapter 1. I love Pray at Night. Pray at Night's still my favorite of the 3. But I'd still say Chapter 1's good, and I don't like the original, so it's very interesting how I handle it. But yeah, I am very excited to see your thoughts on Chapter 1. If you like it, awesome. If you don't, awesome. You know, it's...
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to hear your thoughts on it, honestly.
Well, I will let you guys know before I go live.
All right.
Great, awesome. Yeah, can't wait.
But that's our long-winded thoughts on that. We'll go into the comments and we'll do our wrap-up of the box office Netflix top 10 and what's coming out next week. But first, we got to say goodbye to Spider Bloke because he has to go to bed. 5 hours ahead of us, man. I thank you for staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning with us. Thank you so much. See you on the next live stream. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow morning. I will be going live at either 11 o'clock or noon at 1 p.m. the latest, my time, Eastern Standard Time, with reviews that I will announce at the end of this stream. But thank you so much, Sav, and we'll see you next time, buddy.
Yeah, see you. Thank you, man.
And the final comment before we go into the last topics is Teen Titans.
Yeah, love Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, yes.
Yes.
I don't know what that had to do with anything, but I grew up with it.
Yeah.
I can sing you the theme song. I can't sing you the theme song for the reboot cool thing that Go Show. But I can tell you I loved the original show. It's an anime classic for a reason. Finally, we're going to look at the box office results, which this was a big week for the box office. And looking at this, we already know what happened. But again, what happened this weekend again is even more insane. We know what was number 1. We know what was number 2. I don't think anybody's giving this enough credit. I said earlier in this stream that Inside Out 2 has not dropped below 50%. This is its 5th weekend, and it dropped 36% on its 5th weekend.
Jeez.
36%. Here's the thing. This is going to beat Frozen 2 by probably Friday. Longlegs took a 47% drop. And this never happens. It gained 340 theaters. No movie
That's crazy.
No movie does that. Every once in a while, it'll happen with like a smaller indie film that's maybe at, say, like a Poor Things that opens in 4 theaters. But not with Longlegs that opened wide. Despicable Me dropped 44% and is still at $24 million. Twisters was at $81.2 million. That's crazy. But this is a great time for the box office. I am so happy with what's happening at the box office. I can't wait to see what happens with Harold and the Purple Crayon. That's not going to make dick at the box office.
No.
But
I'm really excited to see the box office after this upcoming weekend to see what changes.
I might have to do a video on that on Sunday, just to do that. But there's that. We're going to look at the Netflix top 10 really quickly because it's still insane. It's crazy. Changes every week, but somehow it still surprises me. What's number one is a little nutty. And before I do that, I got to go back to it. Okay, here we go. So looking at what we have in number one, this is nuts. I didn't think it would happen. One, I have not seen this movie yet. I haven't seen it, but it's on Netflix now. It's a Sony movie. They get all the rights to go to streaming first, and that is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire at number one.
Mm-hmm.
Not that surprising. I mean, it is a new release on streaming, so people are going to want to check it out.
Two is Land of Bad.
Oh, okay.
Recent ad. Yeah.
Three, Trolls Band Together. It's a kids film.
3 wildly different movies. That's funny.
Find Me Falling, which is a new romance film with Harry Connick Jr., which I'll be talking about tomorrow. But we got Hillbilly Elegy at number 5. Why is that at number 5, you're asking? Well, you see, there's some stuff going on with the presidency. J.D. Vance, who is from my state of Ohio, he's going to be the potential vice president for Trump if Trump does get the presidency. Crazy stuff going on there. Not a political channel, but very interesting. Number 6 is Minions.
Okay, not too surprising.
Shrek won't fucking leave at number 7.
I mean, with the announcement of Shrek 6, or 5, I mean, it seems popular that it's popping up.
Number 7 is The Long Game, which I have to watch. I know that that's going to be a comfort film. I know that does interest anybody else, but I'm looking forward to it. It's a drama film about a golf team.
Oh, that's cool. I did golf.
Mario Bros. It's going to stay there until the end of time.
At this point.
It's at number 9. But then you have a completely similar film that you can watch with your whole family and your grandma in 50 Shades Freed. I love that we go from Minions to Shrek, to a dramatic dark tale about a golf team to, hey, it's a me, Mario, to pow! I love that.
Yeah.
I love that we do that. But I want to let you boys know something.
Yes.
There's 3 films that if you have not seen these, I want you to watch these on Netflix. Wildly different movies. One of them I have not seen. It's on my watch list for this weekend. But I want you boys to watch What's Up Above Here.
Okay.
The Boy Next Door with Jennifer Lopez. I will warn you, it is an awful movie. But if you don't have a fun time, I don't know who you are, man.
I mean, well, I'm going to need some movies to watch while I try to stay clinically off the internet for the rest of the week for Deadpool. So I'll actually probably give that a watch soon. Probably within the next 2 days.
If you want a good movie, though, A Simple Favor.
I actually want to watch that one.
Yeah, because part 2 comes out next year, I think. So
yeah,
I read the book before the movie, and I'll say this: that's one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. I love that movie.
Wow,
it's Blake Lively's best performance. It's not Anna Kendrick's best performance. I think that's either in Alice Darling or in Pitch Perfect, but it could just because I was a choir nerd. But
dude, I love the Pitch Perfect movies. We just rewatched Pitch Perfect 2. I love the trilogy so much. I grew up on it. I love them.
Yeah.
And
same.
if anybody doesn't like the Pitch Perfect movies, you need to get off my channel because excuse me.
Exactly. You guys don't have a good sense of humor if you don't like the Pitch
You don't
Perfect
have a good
movies,
sense
because
of
they're
cinema.
hilarious.
You don't have a good
No.
sense of taste in cinema if you don't like the Pitch Perfect trilogy.
Top 10 trilogies ever.
You want to see where Brittany Snow came from? Oh, sure. She's in X. But you want to see her have a vocal issue and hit those bass notes? Man.
And puke on people? I mean,
awesome trilogy. Love that.
Brittany
Love
Snow
that we
didn't
got.
throw up on people, Cam. That was.
I know, I mixed up the characters and realized it right after I said it.
I could see your look in your face.
Yeah.
That was Anna Camp.
Yep. I legit said that, and I was like, wait a minute, that's
Yeah, I saw
wrong.
you go.
I
Yep.
wasn't going to say that.
I had the
was
direct
saying
moment
shit.
of realization right as it left my mouth. I was like, that's wrong.
But Fatal Attraction is a classic I have not seen. But I think that you two might need to watch that along with Basic Instinct.
Okay.
Two similar films, both with oh shit, what's his name? I'm looking at him. It's not Michael Shannon, it's not Michael Sheen. It's Michael something. That dude with Glenn Close. It's that actor. But I think you guys need to check those three movies out, especially A Simple Favor and The Boy Next Door. The Boy Next Door, not a great movie. A Simple Favor, great movie. Looking forward to the sequel.
I have a lot of fun watching shitty movies, so.
Yeah.
Well, one shitty movie you need to pass on is Miller's Girl.
Oh, I'm not watching that
Yeah,
ever.
I'm not watching that shit. So.
Now, this one could mix you on the line. I want Cam to watch that one.
Okay.
What that one is about, what On the Line is about. On the Line is basically about Mel Gibson has a radio show during the nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
The entire radio station is taken hostage
Oh.
by this guy on the phone who takes over the air, telling them what to do in order to save Mel Gibson's family.
That sounds awesome.
I'll just say this, wait for the ending.
Oh, God.
The ending will either piss you off or you think it's the greatest thing in the world. Because I was enjoying it for the 80-minute mark, and then I went, fuck you, I'm done. And it was $6.99 wasted.
there. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I've seen that a couple times now. I thoroughly enjoy that movie. I think it's awesome.
Phenomenal movie. I haven't seen The Gift yet. I have not seen The Gift. I've heard it's great, but I just haven't seen The Gift.
Yeah.
But I think we need to acknowledge the best movie in this entire frame here is 50 Shades Freed.
It has to be.
It's the greatest film of all time. It should have won the Oscar. It is Dakota Johnson's magnum opus. No. In all honesty, it's a horrendous movie. I love it though. I have a fun time with all three of the movies. But the final topic for this week is what's coming to theaters this weekend and in streaming. We already know it's Deadpool and Wolverine, but what else comes out within the next week? This is actually a pretty big week, and I'm going to extend this out to 10 days because there's more. There's a lot more than what anybody is even going to tell you. So we have this little indie movie called Deadpool and Wolverine that nobody's ever heard of. It's probably going to make $5 opening weekend.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Shark movie, Last Breath. I'll have my review of The Last Breath tomorrow morning for you guys. I'm looking forward to talking about that. Ha! Yeah. Along with The Strangers chapter, I'm giving my review away, and I don't give a shit. The
Yeah.
Strangers chapter 1.
Sorry, I have to flex it because I did end up finding one today. The magnificent physical release of The Strangers Chapter 1. I love that this is the box for the Steelbook because the Steelbook is right there and it opens like the door. And you can get the Steelbook. I had to grab it from my shelf real quick because it's a fantastic release. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Not a problem at all, man. Not a problem at all. But this is a phenomenal week because not only do we have The Last Breath, we also got The Girl in the Pool with Freddie Prinze Jr. Yes, I will be renting this. On his birthday, Tom's life collapses when his mistress is found dead in his pool. Terrified of the consequences and desperate to protect his family, he conceals the truth, triggering a chaotic night that threatens to unravel his perfect life.
That kind of sounds cool, though.
Interesting.
I will say this, it's either going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be completely awesome or it's going to suck complete ass.
Yeah, for sure.
This is for the moms who don't want to go and see Deadpool and Wolverine. It's the Fabulous Four. We have movies like this. We have movies like A Book Club, A 80 for Brady. We have movies like this every single time there's a big movie out. We had it with A Knock at the Cabin. Now it is the Fabulous Four. I will see that at some point, just not this weekend. For those of you who like the Fathom events, go ahead and spend the $11.50 to $14 a ticket, but it's the good half with Nick Jonas, Brittany Snow, David Arquette, and Elizabeth Shue. I have a little bit of a bone to pick with that film. Not really with the film, but with some of the people. I'll tell you guys after stream.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm a little bit pissed. But a new religious film, Disciples in the Moonlight. I've heard it's not awful, but it's not great either. Mother's Instinct. That's a brand new film with the gorgeous Anne Hathaway and the marvelously talented Jessica Chastain. These are about two housewives and their best friends and neighbors who have it all. However, when a tragic accident shatters the harmony of their lives, guilt, suspicion, and paranoia begin to unravel their sisterly bond. That also comes to VOD on August 13th, I believe it said. I believe it was August 13th. Down here, the next week, if you are a Blu-ray person like I am, you have The First Omen coming out the 30th.
We'll be buying. Thought that film was great.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Surprisingly decent.
I actually do. I believe that. So for anybody who is wondering, I believe that is just for the Umbrella Entertainment edition of the film. So if you want a steelbook like the one that Scream Factory put out for Winnie the Pooh 1, I think we will be getting one. But that is not what this is. Just for the people who want to know that. So
yeah. And keeping with the Blu-ray, that might actually be it. That might actually be it for the Blu-ray that week. It looks like it. So then we'll go into the VOD for the next week and the streaming.
I mean, Sting is one that is getting the Blu-ray for that one. So yeah.
Are you guys going to watch Sting?
I don't think so.
I might, but
it might be one where like when we get our friends together, we watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting on it to drop a little bit. I didn't want to spend the $20 on it because it's Sting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a $20 movie. No matter how much I want to see it, no. We have Trap, but then this is the movie I gotta go and see because my fucking theater's not getting Trap. So I have to wait for Deadpool and Wolverine until Saturday night. But I can't wait for Purple fucking Crayon movie. Harold and the Purple Ass Crayon. I am so excited for this movie. I am unbelievably excited that I get to go on day one to see Purple Crayon Harold shove the crayon up his ass, but wait on Deadpool. But then we got Trap, so it's fine. It's fine, sort of. Not really, but then we have The Instigators on Apple TV Plus with Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. Good cast, really good cast. That does not come out on Apple Plus until the 9th, but it does go to theaters on August 2nd.
Interesting.
Then, Rebel Moon. Yep, Rebel Moon, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, extended cut, 3.5 hours. You're going to have to take about 17 piss breaks to sit through them.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna watch them. This is what I'm watching. I got my screener. SpongeBob Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. Yes, I am 25 years old. Am I excited for a SpongeBob movie? Yes. Do I hear it's dog shit? Yes. Do I care? No.
Yeah,
Fair.
Rebel Moon, I will not be watching. I am curious to know what people think of Saving Sandy Cheeks, though. Or Saving Bikini Bottom.
Saving Sandy Cheeks.
I combined the title and the fucking subtitle. Yeah, my bad.
Well, that's going to be the sequel. Saving Sandy Cheeks.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Might have to be. Yeah.
What else is coming out? We have a little indie film called The Well. Looks like it's Uncorked Entertainment. That's going to be low budget as hell. That is not anything to write home about. What is this? Detained. That woman looks very familiar. Who is she?
Yeah, she does look familiar.
Wait, she does.
For a
She
second,
looks like
For a second, I thought it was Blair. Not Blair. I thought it was Bailey Madison from The Strangers Pray at Night. And
It honestly, to me at first glance, looked like a mix between Andy Matuchak from the Halloween trilogy and Aubrey Plaza.
Les Alonso's in it. Can you?
Oh yeah, Les is great.
As
Yeah,
MM
from The Boys.
It's Abby Cornish, I think.
Mm.
Oh.
Oh, and Moon Bloodgood's in it. Wow, Moon Bloodgood. I'm gonna have to rent that. I don't know what it's about, but I'm gonna have to rent it anyways. That's too much to read right now. That's too much to read. I can read. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Going back to this, we only have a couple more things coming out, and then we'll wrap up the stream. We're gonna wrap up the stream now because it says to. So there is that. Stay tuned because tomorrow I will be reviewing a shit ton of movies for you guys. I have a total of 5 to 6 reviews, and tomorrow's video will consist of reviews of Twisters. Here we go. Of Twisters, A Very Vermont Christmas, My Spy, and the brand new Netflix film Find Me Falling, as well as the brand new shark film The Last Breath, and if I wake up in time, depending on when I do the show, The Strangers Chapter 1. If there's any news that drops, I will add that in there. But that's everything, and I wanted to do this as a little surprise. I'm going to start doing this brand new segment on my show. This is going to be a segment called, the cleverly titled, Shout Out. So every single show, I'll be doing a different shout out to a big channel or a small channel that I watch, and I'm going to give more recognition to. So you could have 2 subscribers, or it could have 500,000 subscribers. Anyway, I really don't care. But this is going to be a phenomenal new segment, and I'm just going to start it off with this nobody's ever heard of him. Nobody's ever heard of him, and it's going to be Gavin. This is the shout out for this video. Check him out. He has 1,070 something subscribers. Check him out. He's doing all of the Alien movies. He'll have Deadpool and Wolverine. He has Twisters out there. He has a brand new show he just started, so check that out. Give him a subscribe right there and tell him that I sent you.
Thank you very much for that, man.
But that is everything, guys. And before we end off, tell us where we can find you on all the socials that are legal.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, you can find me. It's all under the same handle here. Sometimes there's a space between Cross and Comics. But you can find me Camp Cross Comics. You type that in, it'll show up. YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram are the main 3 I use. I have Threads. I don't really use it. And I do have a letterbox, just so if you want to see some of my reviews for all the Marvel movies I watch, you can find me there too. So yeah.
Yeah, mine is just Gavin Cross Reviews, except for Twitter and Letterboxd, which are Gavin C Reviews. I post movie reviews weekly. I do shorts on physical media. I did one, I think 1 or 2 today on that. So yeah, weekly content I keep posting. And as I said, yeah, I'm going through the Alien franchise right now, just posted the review for AVP Alien vs. Predator today, and those will be every Tuesday until the release of Alien Romulus. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
And you can wow, that was something. And you guys find me here. You know me, you're here. I don't know why you're here, but you're here. Thank you. But before I send you off, there is one more stream I'm going to send you to. Go and check out Zach Attack Reviews. His show was a little bit shorter tonight. Usually he's still on by now, but check him out. He has an hour and 20-minute show tonight doing the same crap that I do, a lot better than I do. But that's everything for tonight, guys, and I'll see all of you guys next time.
So